Hello everyone, this is Zibo and welcome to today's video. So if you're preparing to dive into Artery Gear Fusion global server and you're not sure what waifus is actually good in the game, what are the waifus you should go for to invest in, then this video is the one for you. So in today's video, we're going to run through the reroll guide for Artery Gear Fusion, and a lot of this information is based around the closed beta testing for the global server, because I assume that's the closest iteration we will get for the global site. So there might be some differences, but I think in general it should be the same, because the closed beta English as well as the JP and the Taiwan server has roughly the same reroll system. So without further ado, let us start today's video. So when you first start the game, you'll go through the tutorial where you'll be able to understand the backstory for Artery Gear Fusion, as well as know a little bit more about your waifus before you immerse yourself in the game. And if you do not want to go through this whole story process, then there's definitely a skip button right just on the top right hand side corner, so you can skip the whole thing, finish up stage 1-1, and you'll be able to do your free 10-time reroll, which is unlimited, so you can do your reroll for 10 characters as many times as possible. So I'll be including the characters that are available in the pool on screen right now so that you guys can see it for yourself, but I'll talk about the better characters to roll for towards the end of the video, as some of the stronger characters within the game at the start, they are not within this reroll banner, so you will not be able to get them, and you have to get them from the other recruitment banners, as you guys can see on the left hand side. So what I'll encourage you to do is roll for your first 10 characters and then use your characters to progress within the story and get the premium currency, which is known as the forging element crystal. So upon getting 1800 forging element crystals, you'll be able to do 10 more rolls, and if you do decide to progress further into the stages, you'll be able to get more crystals and you can do more rolls from there. So after getting like maybe 20 rolls after the first 10 characters that you gotten, you can roughly decide whether or not you want to keep this account, because you can see the power level of your account and then decide to keep it or not. Okay, so next up we'll talk about the characters. I'll talk about a few characters in each star level to let you guys know their strength as well as why you should go for them. So the first one is Shuria. So Shuria will be the featured character on the first ever event. She's amazing because she's really tanky, so I'll show you guys her stats. So a bit of stats comparison. She's very tanky, has enough attack to deal damage, and her skill itself allows her to get an attack boost as well as a speed boost. On top of that, she's also able to gain an attack reduction, and her second ability allows you to do a defense reduction on the monsters. So this is extremely useful for the boss battles. In general, she's just an amazing unit which is able to tank up, which is able to deal defense reduction, and is able to deal damage all at the same time. So she's a really good to have if you manage to get her from her exclusive banner itself. The next 5-star unit that I'll strongly recommend you guys is Sirius. So Sirius is not in the starting banner, so she's one of the characters that's not inside, but she's amazing. In fact, I think she's one of the strongest characters in the game at the global release, because she's very versatile. She deals a lot of damage, she's very speedy, right? She's able to go into many different teams and do different game modes. So boss battle, she's able to go into PvP, she's able to do your story mode as well, because her kit, right, like the second skill allows her to gain a speed boost and also allows her to do a bonus turn or take an additional turn if she crits the enemy. So like I mentioned earlier, she's a very speedy unit, so her skill is probably gonna crit a lot if you equip her with the crit hit chance gear, and this will proc her bonus turn ability. And on top of that, she's able to provide a defense reduction on the target if she has a speed boost. So this can be easily attained from her second skill, and you guys can see the synergy there. So she can apply a debuff to the boss, or she can apply a debuff to whatever target you're trying to focus down. And her ultimate ability, Azure Star 4, deals a lot of single target damage and scales off speed points. So she's a very speedy unit, so this one just makes her damage output insane, and it also allows her to tally damage based on the attribute countering the target. So this means that this skill, right, is always neutral, right? It's gonna deal a lot of damage, and she's not gonna be like countered by the element when she deals damage. So yeah, this also allows her to increase the duration on all buffs that you put on Sirius, so you can actually build her as the core of your team in PvP, buff her up and then just have her go ham with her damage output as well as her various abilities. So there you have it, the second 5-star unit. Let us move on to the next 5-star unit I'll recommend. Next, the third unit that I'll recommend you guys in the 5-star category is Ginga. So Ginga is strictly a PvE unit. She deals a lot of single target damage, but she's not very good in the PvP side because she's not fast and she's not that tanky, so she might be sniped off really easily, and her kit requires a bit of build up in order to achieve maximum damage potential. So if you look at her ultimate ability, right, the Shikigami Spirit allows her to do damage, a lot of them, to a single enemy, and scales by 20% for every debuff the target has. So it's one debuff. And how do you achieve maximum target, or rather maximum damage on this skill? You achieve it by applying 2 stacks of debuff from the electrical shock with the first skill, and then your second skill also applying a electrical shock. And this also allows you to actually go into the Chaos Boon, which is the first skill, which might even apply even more electrical shock on the target. So this will have multiple stacks of debuffs on the enemy, and then boom, you use your ultimate skill and she does a bunch of damage. So she's very good for single target removal, very good for boss battle, as well as various PvE contents, but not a really good PvE character. But again, she's really hot, and her like skills animation is pretty cool as well. So if you are into a furry bunny girl that's able to carry you in the PvE, then this character is the one to go to. Okay, so the fourth unit is actually Shuria. She's pretty similar to Ginga in a sense. She's strictly a PvE character because she's able to do massive damage. Her damage stacks is on top of burn, and if you're able to eliminate the target, right, your whole team is able to get 20% of the victim's max HP in recovery. So very good for sustain for the team. And how do you attain the burn stack? So you can attain it by your second skill over here. So you're able to get 4 stacks of burn. So burn is like itself is a burn damage over time effect, and you're also able to get burn from the first skill, which is rip. So like you guys can see, like very similar to Ginga damage, not a really fast attacker, and she's not that tanky as well. So like won't recommend you if you're looking for a versatile character, but she's a good to have character in general as well. And next, let us move on to the 4-star category. So due to time constraint, I do not want the video to be too long, because like I realized that talking about the unit individually is gonna make this video super duper long. So for the 4-star category, I'm just gonna list down the unit name as well as their strengths when you do the reroll for them, so that you guys can have a rough gauge of what are the 4-star units you want to go for when you do your rerolls to pair with the 5-star unit as well as the other optimal 3-star units. So out of all these 4-star units, right, and their names that are listed on the screen, I think 4-star units, they are not must have. There are no one unit that is like super duper irreplaceable, right? You can find a replacement for them in the 5-star category or even the 3-star category, but it's good to have a variety on the screen, or rather like in your team, so that you guys can like build up easier, because it's hard to actually build multiple copies of 5-star at the same time, and it's hard to build multiple copies of 4-star at the same time. So you want to build up like one 3-star unit, one 4-star unit, one 5-star unit all together, so that you can distribute your resources evenly. But if there's one 4-star unit that you should definitely go for, is this Alice over here. She's basically a tier 0 unit. I think she's a hidden 5-star, one of the best support in the game. In fact, I think she has the best skill set. So the reason why she's amazing is because of her second ability, which allows you to grant an attack boost, a bonus turn effect, as well as 20% action bar to one ally. So if you put this on your like carry that deals the most damage, you guys can see the effect, right? So your carry is able to do a lot of damage. If you put it on your strongest AoE attacker, you're able to farm really quickly as your AoE attacker clear through the like stage and stuff. So other than that, right, the ultimate ability Universe Crumble is super amazing in PvP setting, because you're able to slow down your enemies for 2 turns. So So this allows you to attack first, right? Have the first hit advantage, or allow your team to do more action because your team is now faster with the speed reduction on your enemy. So these two skills together, amazing. And even her first skill is able to grant a 15% action bar to one random ally, which will allow you to close out some stages if you do happen to struggle a bit, because like this 15% bar increase can speed up like the bar for one carry, and then you can finish up the stages without losing any unit and get your 3-star requirement for the stage itself. So you don't have to redo the stage for the 3-star. So yeah, she's basically a must-have, I think, in the 4-star category. So these are the names of the different 4-stars as continued. Okay, lastly, we got to talk about the 3-star units to look out for. So one of the biggest strengths for going after 3-star unit is that they are very easy to max out in terms of their skills over here. As you guys can see, very easy to max out, and it's also easy to max out their data chain, which will grant them bonus stats. And this data chain is activated when you use repeated copies of the characters to get the stats itself. So this will allow your characters to reach maximum potential as soon as possible, and that's why I will strongly encourage you to look out for some of these 3-star units that I'm going to talk about. So other than maxing out really easily, I think some of the 3-star units are very comparable to 4-star because you max them out easy, right? They are a lot more efficient in terms of accomplishing what you want to do, but in the long run I think 4-star will still be stronger as you progress through the game. And like the 4-star units are also gonna last you longer because 3-star unit, yes, they are strong, but they'll fall off a bit towards the middle or even later stages of the game. But they are really good in the early game, so do keep a lookout for them. So as usual, I'm gonna list down the 3-star characters. They are really good, and talk about their strengths a bit. So you have quite a few options, right? You have Neo, Rocco, Grace, Foxy, Caroline. They're all really good. And yeah, I'll list down the reasonings on screen right now so that you guys can view it as a reference point for yourself when you do your reroll. So just to end off the video, I'm just going to give you like a small tips and tricks. When you first start off your reroll, you should focus on units which are able to carry you in the early game to progress through the stories, to get as much content done as possible, because in the earlier stages there's a bunch of rewards. And I think having a good AoE attacker is very important, because AoE allows you to clear through the stages really quickly and allows you to do farming more efficiently as well. It saves a lot of time, and yeah, just having an AoE unit at the start is super duper important, so do take note of that. So I'll list down some minor tips and tricks that you should look out for in your initial reroll in terms of the team you want to form, and you guys can decide, you know, how you want to do your rerolls in terms of the units you want. And that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope that this guide is helpful in helping you dive into the world of Artery Gear Fusion. Do remember to like and subscribe in order to see more contents from the channel. I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye guys.